Good morning, directors. Only 4 of you are remaining, and only 3 of you can move on to our live audience finale. There are no more mini challenges, so only one challenge stands between you and the finale. For your next challenge, you will be taking the words quite literally out of someone else's mouth, or rather their 140 characters. This is a verbatim Twitter challenge. Each director must choose one famous person's Twitter feed. The only words your performers will be allowed to say must have been tweeted by that person. Together with your actors, you will make a scene no longer than 3 minutes. For this challenge, you will be judged on the following criteria: creativity, use of text, and overall direction. I'll give you 20 minutes to decide whom you would like to base your scene around. Once you've decided which famous person's Twitter feed will serve as the inspiration for your scene, you are not allowed to change. Your 20 minutes starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Directors, you have 10 seconds remaining.
What? Stop!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your time is up. Directors, please line up and tell me whom you have chosen for your verbatim Twitter challenge. Raph, what's your choice?
Donald J. Trump.
Great, I'm looking forward to it. And Alex?
Danny Dyer.
Great. And Hannah?
J.K. Rowling.
Great. And Emily?
Elaine de Botton.
Fabulous. Raph, because you won the last challenge, you have the option to choose your actors first. So I'll give you a chance to look through your directing pack, and you get first choice for performers. The 3 of you will then have to barter amongst each other for whom you will be working with in the verbatim Twitter challenge. Raph, who have you chosen?
I've chosen Luke Hickman, Harry Jetpart, and Will Davidson.
Great, thanks, Raph. Alex, Hannah, and Emily, take a look through the directing packs and choose amongst yourselves the actors you will be working with.
So wait, who's gone? Luke, Harry, and...
Will Davidson.
Okay.
I'm not going to say out loud to people I don't want to work with because they'll film it.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Oh no, none of them are here. That's good. Great.
Savage.
Or do you want to pick it as a group?
I'm trying to think I'm just trying to think which way I'm going to go with it.
Well, I don't know either.
Yeah, no, it's because it really affects mine depending on if it's guys or girls.
What do you want, guys or girls then?
Because it's like a Cockney male voice.
Isn't there only one guy
talks about
left?
nutting people. So I'm not sure if I want to do that all girls and subvert it or do it with a guy.
I think you should do it all girls. I think
that was my first thought.
I think that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, that's a flirting thing, yeah.
Should we have an argument?
Let's argue.
If you need to.
Okay, here we go.
I want to be nice, but I'm also... Wait, so who did you want? Saskia and Orla? Yeah, sure, why not?
Good.
I don't really know what I'm doing, so...
That wasn't very dramatic, guys.
No.
Sorry.
This is disappointing footage.
This is bad television.
How do you guys come to a decision?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Emily, who are you working with?
I'm working with Jack Reed, Poppy, and Vicky Horan.
Great. And Hannah?
I'm working with Jess and Nicola.
And Alex?
I'm working with Saskia and Orla.
Directors, you will have until tomorrow to create your scenes and present them to the judges. Get to work.
Sorry, I just got to...
You don't.
Oh my God. Sorry, losers and haters, but my IQ is one of the highest, and you all know it. Please don't feel so stupid or insecure. It's not your fault.
All the women on The Apprentice flirted with me, consciously or unconsciously. That's to be expected. The sexual dynamic is always present between people, unless you're asexual.
Oh my God.
Oh,
It hurts to laugh.
it's not a tweet. Oh no, it's in his book, How to Get Rich.
Oh
How
my
to
God.
get rich.
How to Get Rich.
Wow.
Oh, I wish that was a
He's
tweet.
just so potential. Making Canada independent was one of the worst decisions America ever made. If I get elected, I promise to hashtag make Canada America again.
Oh man.
I'm just looking for inspiration really at this point. Sorry, this bit is always the worst when we're just like trying to come up with something. I hate this bit. Like as soon as we're up on our feet and we've got an idea, then it's like, this is fun. What have you guys got out of?
I've got the same one as you about the supernatural power of tweet. And I've got the just seen this for the record. Nobody needs a lightning shaped cut to the head to meet me. Get there soon.
My lord, I have a cunning plan. All right, come and listen to... Thanks. Yeah, come and gather round, children. I shouldn't say that. Okay, so most of these tweets are concerned with love and relationships, and a lot of them are quite insightful to like why relationships break down. So the way I'm going to structure this is like a marriage counselling session. And I'd like you to be the counsellor, and then you two are going to be a couple whose relationship has broken down. I'm going to structure it around that marriage counselling session, and I think I'd like to include sound effects as well. We're just going to wait for the plane, but a lot of this is like it kind of sounds like things that a marriage counsellor might say to like help a couple. And it's to do with like infidelity, unrequited love, why we fall for the wrong person, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's interesting that there's this idea of like if what people can see, like people might not be outwardly racist on Twitter or on a public platform. It would be something, and the same with sexism. People might not be one, because especially Twitter is a thing where everything you put on there is analysed, especially with celebrities now. It's like whatever they say is going to be there forever.
Yeah.
They can delete it, but people like screenshot it, save it straight away, and it goes on the news.
Do you know, there's something about intention and presentation. But if his intention was that everyone knows Danny Dye is a sexist, he'd be taken off Twitter.
Yeah.
His account would be like taken down.
So do we think Danny Dyer has that awareness?
Yeah, I feel like he does. The fact, just what he replied to Katie Hopkins, and like, I feel like if you're a sexist and you have a massive Twitter presence, you do not use the word slag, because I feel like...
If you're a sexist? Sorry.
Okay,
if you're
a sexist. So like Katie Hopkins is a sexist, but you don't see her tweets. They're not like...
Something that's hidden.
slag.
It's something that's... It's
Yeah.
something that he actively doesn't believe in or anymore, or if it's something he got like a negative outcome.
Hey Alex, I'm checking in to see how things are going on this challenge.
Yeah, it's going good.
Yeah? Tell me about it.
So we have Danny Dyer.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Danny Dyer.
Vaguely.
Yeah. Danny Dyer is a sort of, he's in action films and he's also in EastEnders, and he plays a sort of gruff character, usually, who's usually lower class or working class, and is a hard man. He has this hard man image, and we're trying to make a performance out of the tweets. So we started by just looking through a few of them, quoting them, and then finding out which things we found interesting. Then we went through and we wrote down the sort of voice of him and what we infer from his voice, and so just the text alone rather than our connotations of him. Mm-hmm. And then we went through the connotations you have of him and how they match up with his actual words. So even though he's got a very hard man image, his actual persona is he's usually seen as quite a nice guy in real life. Okay. So we're talking about what the text says in terms of like how he performs his image, and also what his image is in real life. So the difference between what the text says and what his persona says.
Great. Well, I will see what you have tomorrow.
Thank you.
Until then. Hi, Raph.
Heya.
I'm just checking in to see how you guys are doing.
Yeah, no, we're doing good. We've basically just been mining Donald Trump's Twitter account, and we found a lot of ridiculous tweets that we want to put to use. I think it's round about now we're trying to put them into a thread of a sort of script, as it were, trying to get some sort of build up, I think, almost from the more kind of laughable, ridiculous ones to kind of slightly getting more scary. And then we're going to try and get on our feet and start rehearsing it.
Great. What made you choose Donald Trump?
Well, I think, I don't know. Donald Trump, for me, he's just, obviously, he has such a huge Twitter presence and he tweets the most ridiculous things, but at the same time, he is the president of the United States. So I think it's a very, very interesting insight into a very, very messed up mind that is in charge of a very, very huge country. So it's actually just a really interesting thing to look at and create theatre of. So
great.
Awesome.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I will see you tomorrow.
Yes.
Great.
Right. See you tomorrow.
Until then.
Wicked.
And then Raph turns to me and he says, if I win, I'm going to be a right dick on stage. Hi, Will.
Hi, Emily. I'm just checking in to see how things are going.
Great.
Cool. Tell me about where you are in your process.
So we've been looking through the Twitter feed of this writer, Alain de Botton. He is a British-Swiss writer who invented this kind of idea called the Book of Life, and it's a blog, and it's also a series of publications that he's made. And he tweets on various different subjects, but he's interested in how philosophy can affect us in our everyday lives.
Cool.
A lot of it is kind of political stuff. So he's tweeted a lot about the psyche of countries as a whole. But then the tweets that I've chosen to focus on are references to personal relationships and the problems that go wrong in personal relationships. So what I've done here with these actors, I've set it up like a marriage counselling session. So Poppy is going to be playing a marriage counsellor who is very cynical, because a lot of the tweets are quite negative when it comes to problems that go wrong in personal relationships. And these two are playing a couple who've come in for counselling.
All right, well, I look forward to seeing what you show us tomorrow.
Thank you.
Until then.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah, and
hey, Hannah, I'm just checking in to see how everyone's doing. Tell me about where you guys are in the process.
Well, we're just learning about Twitter. Nicola has Twitter, but me and Jess don't. So we've been
catching up to 2007.
Yeah, thanks. We've just been going through and trying to find any tweets that sort of jump out at us as interesting, or perhaps could have sort of like an action with them or a, you know, that kind of thing. Just things that we're finding interesting, and we're putting them all together so that we can try and see what sort of threads, you know, like different threads that we can pull through of what links. She's quite political, and she's quite, but she tweets a lot, so.
And have any of the tweets started lending themselves to ideas about performance style or how you might structure your 3 minutes?
Because they're all quite random, a lot of the stuff that she's saying, we're sort of leaning towards the idea of making conversations out of things that don't quite make sense, but then kind of do make sense because they don't make sense, if that makes sense.
It does. It's very clear.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with for tomorrow.
Okay.
Until then.
Thank you.
No trubs.
Hashtag no drugs.
Welcome, directors, to your 4th showcase of Project Directing Season 2. 4 of you are remaining, but only 3 of you will be able to go on to our live audience finale. Our judges today are myself, Dr. Will Schuler, Dr. Bryce Leese, and Dr. Elaine McGurr, and our special guest judge today is Dr. Melissa Blanco-Borelli, Senior Lecturer in the Department of Drama, Theater, and Dance. Today, your challenge was to create a verbatim piece of theater no longer than 3 minutes, the text of which must come from the Twitter account of a celebrity of your choosing. Today, the judging criteria is creativity, the use of text, and your overall direction. The 3 of you who are moving on to the finale will all receive tickets to an octoroon at the Orange Tree Theatre. The winner of Project Directing will receive a patron night ticket to the Scottish National Ballet at Sadler's Wells. I'm looking forward to seeing your verbatim theatre pieces. We'll start with Emily.
So the Twitter account that I have chosen is by Elaine de Botton, who is a writer and runs a blog and has published several books with his franchise, The School of Life.
Thank you.
We're only calm enough to teach people to change when we're resigned to them remaining how they are. The more melancholy a culture can be, the less its individual members need to be persecuted by their own failures, grief, and regrets.
We think about other people during sex.
Is it ever right to maintain a relationship when one is rather unhappy?
We may be angry rather than sad.
What if marriage vows were different and more realistic?
We're collectively more interested in beautiful weddings than we are in tolerable marriages. You will almost certainly marry the wrong person. In love, one should assume the person won't change and weigh up whether that would be bearable.
We are patients who can't clearly describe our symptoms.
Seeming to be on the verge of saying something interesting is in itself a skill, entirely divorced from actually doing so.
At the root of much emotional turmoil is the demented hope that we'll be understood. Words stall at the attention of another mind.
Loneliness so often goes unmentioned. A background guilt. We're experts at lying, not so much to others as to ourselves. In our minds, we often wish those we love might die.
This is pure vindictiveness.
Loving and being loved. It feels so uncomfortable. True love doesn't have to last forever. Wars end not when the fighting stops, but with the ebb of the psychological shadow they cast.
The recurring fantasy. To be able to rewind time back to the moment before big mistakes started to be made.
The Twitter that I chose was J.K. Rowling's Twitter, and yeah, this is my piece.
Of all devices known to humankind, the desktop printer is the most evil. I am close to breaking point.
I've already broken one this year. This is my husband's.
Is it a Mac?
No, it threw tantrums every time. Every time I asked it to print anything longer than a pamphlet. Then it had a breakdown. Then I may have hit it very hard with my fist. Ever since then, it appears to be comatose.
You'd think that seeing its unresponsive cousin lying a few feet away would give the bastard pause for thought.
God bless your sweet optimism.
I felt really depressed today, so I ate a whole bunch of chocolate, and that cheered me up quite a bit.
Chocolate seems to be the answer.
I was thinking more along the lines of a nice bath, maybe some pasta, but whatever works for you.
There's a whiff of Emily Dickinson about it.
It's what the leader of the free world does.
I think you'll find that's Poodle.
I bet he's got a greenhouse.
So the millionaire.
Well, stop worrying about the rent.
Is it lonely up there on your high horse?
No. I've got several million women sitting beside me.
Well, that's a very nice thing to say. If we were face to face, I'd shake your hand.
Well, maybe one day.
Why are millions of children living in orphanages?
I don't think that's really right.
Then you shouldn't talk.
I thought they were tunnelers.
Bollocks.
Isn't it?
If a man has no tea in him, he is incapable of understanding truth and beauty.
For what will it profit a man if he gains the world but forfeits his soul?
Quick, buy him ice cream.
So I took the Twitter feed of Donald J. Trump. So I hope you enjoy the insight into his mind.
Thank you.
The fake media is working overtime today.
I'm getting so much heat for saying that Patterson should jump Stewart. But I'm right. If you got a load of the Miss Universe girls, you'd reconsider.
Who wouldn't take Kate's picture and make a load of money off of it if she's doing the nude sunbathing thing?
Oh, come on, Kate!
Hey. It's snowing and freezing in New York. We need global warming.
The concept of global warming was made by and for the Chinese so that the United States manufacture was non-competitive.
I love China.
China steals Navy records. I've been against China since the 80s. Does anyone want to listen? No? Well, time to get tough. No one should burn the American flag.
If they do, there must be consequences.
Maybe lack of citizenship or jail.
The threat of radical Islamic terrorism is very true.
We need to keep that evil out of this country.
Just take a look at what's happening in Europe and the Middle East.
Courts must act fast.
26,000 cases of sexual assault in the US military and 238 convictions.
Well, what do these geniuses expect when they put men and women together? And the best taco bowls are made in Trump Tower. I love Hispanics.
The overwhelming amount of crimes in our major city are committed by Hispanics
and blacks.
Oh!
Must be discussed.
Yeah.
We will take back our jobs. We will take back our wealth. We'll take back our borders. We'll take back our dreams. And we will build a wall.
Dishonest media says that Mexico won't be paying for the wall.
Media is fake.
Oh! The media is fake!
The person's Twitter feed I've been looking at today is Danny Dyer. Danny Dyer is a Cockney actor who usually gets cast in hard man roles in what he plays, but he's a very intelligent man.
Don't let the slags get in your nut. Send them my way. Love a bit of troll hunting. Slag. Slag. Slags.
Can't believe it's been 11 years since them slags.
Slags.
Can't believe it's been 11 years since them slags smashed into the Twin Towers.
Still freaks my nut to this day. 9/11.
It's crazy though, isn't it? How general life can destroy a nut. How general life can destroy a nut. How general life can destroy a nut.
Don't let the slags get in your nut. Don't let the slags get in your nut. Don't let the slags get in your nut. Don't let the slags get in your nut. Don't let the slags get in your nut. Don't let the slags get in your nut. Don't let the slags get in your nut. Slag! 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 Slag!
I know it's early, but look at the fucking tits on this. 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 Don't let the slags get in your nut.
Slag.
Oh, slag.
Hopkins chatting wet about manning up. At Katie Hopkins, have a nice day, you daft sexist, ya.
Thank you, directors. You've given us a lot to talk about. The judges will now deliberate. You're excused.
I was actually really scared when we were given the challenge because it's kind of, I think it's the one where we've had the least kind of direction from the judges as to what the end product should be.
The Twitter challenge I thought was challenging. It was a really tough one, but I'm really excited because I think we're all going to come out with some really different things. It felt quite risky because we hadn't had the chance to sort of practice with all of the props and stuff that we were using, so it felt really, like we could have done with a bit more time, but at the same time I was happy with the way that it turned out, considering that.
When they first said you're doing dialogue from Twitter, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be so hard. I also thought I thought it would end up being like really abstract, a bit like the fragments text, like in the first episode. But actually, like when we got into it and like seeing the body of work that I just saw, like a lot of us took like very, very dialogue heavy and made some of the best pieces out of what was, I think, one of the hardest challenges. So, yeah.
What did I think of the Twitter challenge? I really enjoyed working on it. Actually, I thought that was one of the funnest processes to work on. I think one of my expectations was for it that I really wanted to. I think it's quite easy to make it just nonsensical, and I really wanted to have some sort of commentary upon who the person is, Danny Dyer. What would I change about my piece? I think I was happy with it in general. I think some of the commentaries could have been a bit clearer, and I think I would have liked more time to find more tweets because we chucked one in right at the end there from our process. It'd be nice to like spend a lot longer on it. I think it could have been nice.
Well, I think we have a lot to talk about, and I am not quite sure which ones I think are the winning ones and which one should go home. I think it's a quite tough one today. So let's start with Emily. I thought that what I wanted out of this one was for them to take more time with the words. Yeah. I felt they went through the lines very quickly, and there's a lot in those lines, and we didn't get to spend much time with them. And then it had that moment where it jumped to be a physical theater piece. And at first I felt like they were just Siamesed together by music that we don't have the rights to. But I sort of started to feel it as two parts of a whole by the end of it. So I was sort of convinced.
So my question that I wrote down here is the physicality meant to be jumpy and broken up like a tweet, or is it just lacking fluidity?
Yeah, I have a bit choppy. I was wondering about transitions between the lines and transitions between the different kinds of affective moments in the dialogue.
Hannah's piece on J.K. Rowling.
This had a kind of staccato pace. I really like the humor, but every once in a while the energy fell between the eating and crunching. I thought there was something almost Ionesco-esque at points about playing with language. That was really exciting.
I think the pacing did allow for some unexpected surprises in terms of the use of props. I really liked how they were using the props. I mean, I kept thinking, oh, now what is she going to do? So I was invested in the small gestures of the food and the eating.
Yeah. I think the comic timing with physicality was really good, but it wasn't always matched with the pacing of the language.
And they actually had a comfort with the language as well. I loved when Jess started her line and then saw Nicola pouring the sugar and then just like stopped and gave her a look and then like continued the line from the beginning again. It showed a ease with it that they were able to be a bit playful. Raph and Darth Cheeto.
Darth Cheeto, yes.
Drums.
You know, it's both a challenge, but also his tweets lend themselves to comedy staging. So in a way, it was a challenge, but it was also kind of simple to put together because, the language lends itself to hyper masculine or hyper ridiculousness.
But there's an obviousness that he kind of went for, which
it almost kind of reminded me a little bit of Frank Castorf's work because the way it's being using this kind of xenophobic, racist, capitalistic language against itself and doubling it, and then this highly energized musical montage as well. So I liked that.
Oh yeah, it also, I know what you're saying by like obvious because I sort of feel like I might have seen this Saturday Night Live skit already, and so it does feel less risky than maybe some of the others.
But Trump as a Twitter feed is almost the biggest challenge of all of them.
It's true. Because it's such a loaded signifier.
And because because it is so obvious that we're almost more defensive, like what can you do that's new, you know? And that it still got laughs, even though I've heard those lines many times before.
So the delivery was clever. I thought that the direction of the delivery of the lines and the timing and the you know, the yelling and the moving up through vocal registers. That was clever. Yeah.
On to slag.
Danny Dyer.
I thought this was brilliant.
I loved it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. It was my favorite.
Yeah, me too.
Hands down.
The T-shirt, the reveal with the T-shirt,
I mean,
and the pun.
It's the
Yeah.
best casting, the best use of text. They did a joke that was an obvious joke, but it was still a good joke, and it worked. You know, they actually pulled off a really cheesy joke well, and it was enjoyable.
I thought it was a great use of text because they didn't feel obliged to rattle off as many tweets as possible. They played with a few choice ones.
Yeah.
So this is clearly number one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then it gets tricky.
And then a little bit trickier.
Yeah.
Welcome back, directors. The judges have finished their deliberations. Would Hannah and Alex please step forward? Congratulations, you two are the highest scoring directors this week.
She looks surprised.
Alex, there were many wonderful layers in your piece, the gender bending, the commentary on sort of the ridiculousness of sexist language, the use of repetition and focusing on a small amount of tweets, and your casting was wonderful. Yeah, it was wonderful, so thank you.
Hannah, I thought you perfectly captured the kind of acid yet absurd version of suburbia that J.K. Rowling represents and recreates both in her texts and in her kind of general persona. We thought the physicality and the comic timing was spot on and basically hilarious. So you made us laugh. Thank you very much.
We think you both really had fun with this challenge. And we do think, though, that there was one person who pulled ahead a bit, and that was Alex. Congratulations. You can both have a seat. Raph and Emily, could you please step forward? That means that you two had the lower scores this round. Emily, we felt that your scene today was a bit disjointed. We felt that the texts weren't given enough time to land properly. So we weren't quite able to connect with a lot of the words that were said. We weren't able to reflect on them in performance versus as just words on a feed. We felt that a bit the movement that came at the end was sort of Siamesed together with the beginning part. And we almost felt that it was more of a successful interpretation, the physical theater bit, and it almost could have entirely been that physical theater version of his thoughts on love alone, instead of this naturalistic moment that didn't seem to work with something that wasn't written for naturalism.
Raph, I feel like, do I give you the feedback every time? I think it's always me, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, okay. So we felt like choosing Trump, you probably set yourself the most difficult challenge of everyone, because right now, of course, Trump gets so much airtime and always stars, for example, on Saturday Night Live. So we thought, okay, these are jokes that we know these tweets, we're already familiar with them, so what can you offer that's new about them? We liked the montage with music, the frenetic energy, the working out. For me, it reminded me a little bit of the work of Frank Castorf, if you want to look him up at the Volksbühne. Using capitalist language as a tool against capitalism, for example. And the drunken stupor. The end for us didn't work. We thought actually it lost the energy, it went back into a kind of literalism. So it sort of lost it there. Yes. Bum bum bum.
So only one of you can move on to the live finale. And so today, Shantae, you stay. Emily, sashay away. You can have a seat. Thank you so much, Emily. You've been such a joy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leaving that way.
Could I please have all 3 directors back up? Alex, Hannah, Raph, congratulations on being the finalists.
Hannah looks so surprised. Surprised.
The 3 of you will all be going together to see an octoroon at the Orange Tree Theater. And your next challenge starts now.
What did you think of your piece today?
I was actually really proud of it. I think generally the pieces this week have been the best standard so far. Yeah, I was really pleased with the actors that I was working with as well. I thought they did a great job. And I don't know what to say, yeah, it was good. I think the judges are overly harsh. I've had a lot of problems with the judges' criticisms, not only of my pieces, but other people's pieces as well. I think they fail to bear in mind that we've had about 4 hours in total to prepare the pieces that we're showing. I decided to combine 2 different styles, and they didn't like that. And they suggested, in fact, that I stay with the style of physical theatre to explore the text. But then, one of the briefs was, how do you use the text within the piece? And I'm sure that if I had done that, I would have been criticised. It sometimes feels like you can't win either way. Do you know, I think Raph deserves to win because I'm working with him on a project at the moment. He's my co-director. And we now know out of the 2 of us who is the better director. But I think, yes, I'd like Raph to win. I've seen him do a lot of projects, and I think he's really creative. And also I think he's a great personality. So yeah, I'd like to see Raph win. And I think the finale is going to be very interesting because I think Hannah does really well, but she needs to have more confidence in herself. And I think Alex has received a lot of praise recently, so it could go either way for Alex. He takes a lot of risks, which is really exciting to see in a director. But I think with him in the finale, it's either going to pay off that he takes the risk, or it might fall flat, as it did a couple of episodes back with the Shakespeare challenge. So I think it's going to be a very closely run thing. But yeah, I'm rooting for Raph. That wasn't very dramatic, guys.
No. Sorry.
This is disappointing footage.
This is bad television.
Yeah. That's just,
Have you come
the
up with
director's
a-
craft?
Yeah.
Okay, Mitchell.